Happy Crafternoon, everyone. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live, the home studio edition. We are here at home today, recording live from our studio, and today we're going to be playing with that brand new 3D embossing folder, the Gorgeous Bloom. Now, we had 3 different 3D embossing folders that were released at our release party on Tuesday night. 2 of them were brand new, and one of them is this gigantic flower that is just filled with beautiful layers of petals, and I thought that would be a fun one to kick off this next 4 weeks full of fun videos. So before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Happy Crafternoon.
How are you?
Sorry, my hair's all over the place.
That's all right.
Bad hair day.
I've had you running all over the place this morning.
I know, running.
We're always rusty when we do it at home.
Yeah, there's a few. I have to tell everybody.
Yeah, tell them.
Speaking of that, I don't have the song for the word of the day that I usually have.
You'll just have to sing it.
We'll have to wing it and sing it.
Oh no!
But I do have a word of the day, so we're not totally falling apart here.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, actually, when we do the lives at home, we don't have the same big setup that we have at the studio, so it's always a little bit weirder.
Sketchy.
Sketchy, yeah.
Homegrown.
Yes, but there is Zeus somewhere, so that's always fun. All right, well, shall we get started right away, Tom?
Please.
Okay, so let's take a look at the embossing folder that we're going to use today. So I keep all my embossing folders in these stamp pockets. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, hopefully my battery works on this zoom. Oh, thank goodness it does. So I keep my 3D embossing folders in these large stamp pockets. It holds everything really nicely. Look at the size of the die that comes with this embossing folder. This is the single die. And then I always keep this insert. I don't necessarily keep the stencil insert, but you can. And then I have the 4-piece layering stencil. So we are going to be using this embossing folder today to make a card, and then I'm going to show you the 2 cards that I showed you on release party night. So you have 3 ideas right out of the gate for this beautiful Gorgeous Bloom 3D bundle. Oh, and can I just do a big shout out to Brianne Loveland? I see her already in the chat doing her thing. Hi, Brianne. We always say Tom's in the dead space, I'm in the bright space, and Brianne is in the what space, Tom?
She is in the, what is that space?
The cyberspace, the web space.
The link space.
The link space.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
See, we even need her for that.
I know, she's the one that told me, and I can't even remember, I'll tell you. All right, so I came up with a size that I think is great for these 3D embossing folders. So I want to show you what they are here, and let me just write this down here. If you want to even take a screenshot of the screen, I'm just putting white and black here. So this is what I cut my white piece to, 5 1/8 by 6 inches, or if you prefer decimal places, it's 5.25 by 6 inches. That is like the perfect size to cut that piece of white cardstock. And then the black panel is going to be 1/8 of an inch bigger, 4 1/4 by 6 1/8. This is just telling me that I need to come up with a master layouts die set that works for 3D embossing folders. So that is on my list of things to design. These are the 2 sizes, and we could do it with a pretty stitched edge too. But they are perfect, and they work really nicely with 5 by 7 card bases. Here's a 5 by 7 card base, and you can see it works really nice. I don't think that that is the same exact size, though, as Master Layouts 8. Let me look here. Maybe it is. Master Layouts 8, the large, see, that's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and 4.375, which is 4 3/8 by 6 3/8. This is different. It takes it in a little bit. And so I think that this is going to work really nicely with this 3D embossing folder. The problem with cutting it out with Master Layouts 8 is Master Layouts 8 hangs outside of it. And so sometimes you get the line from the pressure from the embossing folder. So, I'm sorry, you're right. It's not 0.25. It's 6.125. You're right. Thank you. 6.125 and then 6.25.
And then you said, let's see.
Did I say the wrong
5
thing?
instead of 4 for the white?
Oh my gosh. All right. 4 1/8 by 6 for the white. I'm going to do this again. Can't write properly, which is 4.125 by 6. For the black panel, 4 1/4 by 6 1/8. Right? Did I say that right, Tom? Are you paying attention? 4.25 by 6.125. So that's for my decimal people and for my inch people. All right? These are inches. And these are decimals. There we go. You're making me think. So hopefully that helps. You're right. I got it wrong, but here should be the right thing. Math was not my forte. Art was my forte. So if your video doesn't start, try refreshing. It should be working. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to get the die cutting machine and we are going to emboss this. Now some people do like to spritz it first with a light mist of water, or they like to use a light mist of alcohol. I'll put that back up once I get started working on it. So we'll keep this in the frame all day so that people can see it. But you see how this fits so nicely in there without it hanging along the outside? I think that's great. Okay, so we're going to just use the bottom plate for the intracut, just the bottom plate, and we're going to turn it to 2D emboss. And then I'm going to turn it... You know, it says here in the instructions to turn the tension dial to 3. And that's a good starting point. But I found with this one, I like it to be a little bit tighter. So I'm going to start it at the -1 mark. If it feels too tight going through, I will change it. I'm not going to force it. But I just want you to know that this one you might have to have a little bit tighter or you're not going to get exactly the pressure that you want. And I'm going to center this onto this folder because I'm not cutting anything off, so I'm going to center it. All right. And if you look at it here, now I'm looking at it and I see that it's really close to the edge here, but I've got a little space over here. So I'm going to move that over and I can see it right through the front here, so I can get it in just the right spot. So I think that's gonna look good.
Question, what size would your card base be for these measurements?
I'm gonna use a 5x7 card base. So the border will just be a little thicker on the 5x7 than if you used Master Layouts 8. All right, so I'm gonna send this through here. Here we go.
And Kathy wants to know, is there any way you can show the setting on the dial? Because she doesn't know whether you mean plus on the dial or minus on the dial.
Yeah, I will. Now, I have a gray mat here on my surface, which is why the intracut isn't sticking to it. If I took that gray mat off, the intracut would stick better. Now, one thing that I notice with 3D embossing folders, and this is with every 3D embossing folder on the market, I feel like I get better embossing up here than down here. So all I'm going to do is just send this bottom side through just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way up. I just want to get a little bit of a better impression down there. Okay, there we go. And now I've got a nice deep impression there. I'm going to take that out. And there you have it. Look at that beautiful impression. And I don't know why that is with 3D embossing folders, why they seem a little more shallow, but I'm finding that if I just turn it around and I stick it through and pull it back out, it works. For anybody that's watching, if somebody could type in the chat, because obviously they can't hear me, but if somebody could type in the chat, Brienne, tell them if they're not seeing the video just to refresh the screen and then hit the play button and it'll take them into the video. I don't know why in Fort Myers it's not working today. I don't know. Okay, so now we have this beautiful embossed image, and I'm going to get my stencil mat here. I'm using layering weight cardstock for this, but you can use heavyweight if you want a deeper impression. You certainly can use heavyweight, but I think that's a pretty good impression. Don't you guys think that that looks pretty good?
It already looks cool.
I know, it looks so pretty just like it is, right? Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate your help. Now with these stencils, one of the things that you're going to notice is if you don't know which side to use, look for the etched line, the etched rectangle. You see that etched rectangle that goes around? And can you see how the rest of the design is etched into this folder or this stencil, even though it's not cut out? On the other side, you don't have those etched lines. See, you might be able to slightly see it through, but you can't really see it. But here on this side, you can see it. You see that if I get it in the light? That's how you know you're on the right side of the stencil, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to find all the right sides of the stencil and gather them up together, making sure that I can see that everything is facing in the right direction. And then what I do is I hold it up to the light. If the flower looks right up to the light, then I just lay my stencils down and I'm ready to go. That will really help you from having to figure out and twist and turn and flip. Just get them all going in the right direction to start with. And you could start with any stencil. That's the beauty of these stencils. You can start with any one of them. So let's start with this one here. Okay, and I'm going to lay that on there, and then let's see here. I'm going to use the lilacs today because I really want some purple flowers. So I'm going to use the light lilac, the medium lilac, and possibly the dark lilac. We'll see. And I think these are going to work really nicely with the Wild Wisteria cardstock, and I think that's what I will use for the base. Okay, so we've got a truck outside. If you hear a hum, there is a truck going on. So I'll tell you, it's different at the studio. Here it's a little bit, it's a little hairy sometimes, isn't it, Tom? At home?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I'm going to start with my large blending brush, and I'm going to add a layer of light lilac. But before I do that, I'm going to get some Masking Magic strips, and I'm going to get my big ones. So I need some of these 1/2-inch ones. Now, in order to make these stencils as economical as possible, rather than do just one layer here and one layer here, you can see that both the flower and the leaves were mixed on one stencil. So what I do is I just take, you could do this with a Post-it note too, but I just take a little bit of Masking Magic here just to block that off so that I don't inadvertently get purple into where I want my greens. And that just makes it easy. You could pull that off and reuse it if you want to. Okay, so I'm starting a little more heavy-handed in the center here, a little heavy-handed, and I'm going in both directions. You see I'm going in one direction, I'm flipping around, going in the other direction, and I am just getting lighter as I go toward the outside of each of these petals. Just nice and light here. And I'm also being careful not to go up here. If you're worried, you can always take another Masking Magic strip and you can just pop it over the top like that. And this way you don't have to worry about that either. Some of us have a wide stenciling. It's better to emboss first and then stencil, Marianne. And the reason why I say that is because part of the 3D embossing is kind of these highs and lows that the blending brush kind of grabs onto, and it will create like little extra deep areas. So you can do it either way, but I find that it's better to do it this way. Plus, when they cut stencils and they make embossing folders, one of the things that a lot of people maybe have never told you or that you didn't know about is that when they do a design on an embossing folder, this plastic can shrink ever so slightly during the process. Now the stencils and this are designed from the same artwork. And the stencils are designed a little bit bigger so that it can like fold over the edge of these raised areas. But sometimes you have to shimmy the stencil a little bit. Like it might be perfect on the flower and then you have to push it up a little bit on the leaves. So if you stencil first, you might not be able to get that embossing folder to line up perfectly. By embossing first, you can always shimmy the stencil a little bit into position. Okay, I'm using, which inkstand am I using, Brianne? I don't know the different names, but this is the white one. I have the white ones at home and I have the black ones at work. Okay, so now I'm going to use some medium lilac, and I'm going to use a small blending brush for this. And again, I'm going to start right here in the center, and then I'm just going to bring this color over. See how I just brought it over like that?
And do you know if the brush bucket will be coming back into stock?
Oh, it's definitely coming back into stock. Those were made by a small company right here in New Berlin and Wisconsin, and they make them out of their home, and they do take a little while to come back in. So we didn't know how well they would be received. So we ordered as many as we thought we would need, but they did sell out pretty quickly. So they know we've already placed a reorder with them, and they are already making them. So it shouldn't take forever. Maybe another week and a half. We'll see. But they're definitely coming back in. Okay, now I was thinking I was going to use the dark, but I don't think I need to use the dark because I went so light-handed with the light lilac. So let's go ahead and take this off. Tom, can you go out and tell the truck that we're live?
Right away.
Now you see all that depth and dimension you get in there? That is so beautiful. Can you hear it in the headphones?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, guys. You know, it's always something. I'm going to take this off because I am going to need this again. You going to go out and scream at him? He's going to go and see if he can make them stop. Okay. Now I'm picking another layer here, and again, like I said, it doesn't matter what order you do these in. Okay, and I'm going to lay that right on top, right there, like that. Okay, and then I think I'll do the same thing just because I'm a little nervous of my wide ink blending. And we've got the next layer on there. So we're going to go with the light lilac again. Thank you. I'm so glad you can hear me fine over the truck noise. Maybe it's just loud because I'm like right in the studio and there's a window behind me and I can hear it. Okay. Well, they're getting louder because I said that. All right, so again, I'm going in one direction and then I'm going in another direction. And then I'm going light as I work my way out. Just lightening up. And it kind of automatically lightens up a little bit too because I've dumped most of the ink into the center. But you still want to have a little bit of a lighter hand as you work your way out. See there, I didn't really get very much. So let's just add a little bit more in there. All right. And again, yes, the wax on, wax off. That means going in one direction and then going in the other direction. Maybe it's just me. I'm glad you don't hear it. We do have compressors and stuff on the sound, but still. Tom said he could hear it in the headphones. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to that medium lilac and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add some darkness here right along the bottom and along the sides. See how that just just like right in there. Same here, just going up along the side. And down at the bottom and along the sides. And for this one, same thing, along the bottom, coming up. So this is how you get that look of dimension, where it looks like the flower is just popping off the card, because it's got all of this, you know, you've got dark areas sitting next to light areas, and it just really makes it look very, very, even more dimensional than it actually is. All right, I'm going to use this to see if that helps. Nope, I'll just do that. Okay. So you see how all of that is just like really just getting so dark toward the center of the flower. I love that look. Okay, so the next layer I'm going to use is this one. Yeah. So this is just one petal in here. And there are so many different petals because you can also do different colors. So if you wanted to do, let's say, pinks and then maybe peaches, or you wanted to do yellows and then darker yellows and kind of alternate petals, you can do that. You don't have to do these all in the same colors. I'm doing them all in the same colors because I want to show you that you can, but you can go ahead and just, you know, do it whatever way you want. All right, again, a little bit heavy, and then getting lighter as I go out. That'll look good. Now, if you like even more control than this brush, you can always switch to a detail brush, especially if you're trying to get into a really tight area. Maybe you want to do multiple colors. So maybe you wanted to do yellow flowers, but then you wanted to bring pink in to this area, but then you wanted to do a red real close to the edge. You can do 3 color flowers like that, and we'll do that in another video for sure. All right, now we're going to go with this dark color, and we're going to bring it right around. Yes, Zeus is here somewhere today. I don't know where he is. He was laying on a shelf earlier in here. He was actually right in here earlier, and then I was like, yay, you're going to be on the live, and he jumped down and ran away. I don't think he wanted to be in the live. Okay, and then let's pull that off. So you can see how this is just glowing. It's glowing. And then we have this last layer here. Now for this one, I do not want any of this to get colored purple. All right, so I'm going to go back to these little pieces of Masking Magic, and I'm going to block this off because I want the center of this flower to be yellow. I want it to have some gold in the center, and that will really stand out against that purple. But if I put purple down first, forget it. You know, purple and yellow are going to make brown, and it's never going to look good. Okay, so here we go with our final layer. Yes, make sure I have the right one. So I'm going in one direction and then flipping in the other direction. One direction here. I don't know what's going on with the internet in general, why there's glitching. I've seen this on other YouTube channels too. So I would just say, you know, go out and come back in if you're getting glitches. I think it's the time of the day. I think everybody around lunchtime goes on the internet between the hours of like 11 and 2, and we rarely have these problems with our nighttime lives, but we do have them sometimes with our daytime lives, and I think it's just because people go to lunch at work and the internet gets overloaded. Okay, so now we're going to get that medium lilac in there. I'm going to go just real close to the bottom on this one. But can you see how this is coming to life? It's really beautiful. See, I'm just really going close to the edge here. Just Just letting those bristles trickle over the edge of that stencil because I still want that light patch in the center. Okay, let's see what we got. Isn't that pretty, guys? It's so nice. This flower is amazing. Okay, so now we want to add another color in here. We want to add some gold. So I am going to clean my stencil first. I don't want any of this purple to touch my yellow because purple and yellow make brown. And so I'm going to just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to clean this stencil off before we move on to the next color. And remember, when you're cleaning your stencils, clean the back too, just in case any of that color leaked through. And you also don't want the back of your stencil to be wet, even with alcohol. Okay, so now we are going to add some yellow in here into the center. And the yellow I picked for today is butterscotch. I think that will be a really beautiful yellow. It's a very warm yellow, but it's not too orangey. So I have that here. I know using the trios does make it easy. And you know what I need to maybe make another chart. I have a chart in our Facebook group of all the other colors in our collection and how they work. For example, jelly bean green, grass green, and fresh asparagus could be a trio because they work the same way as the trios. Let's see, there's a couple others like that. Sea glass, turquoise sea, and tranquil teal work as a trio. So we could have just named them light teal, medium teal, and dark teal, but that was before we started doing the the trios. And people say to me, can you do a teal trio? But we already have it, and that's why I don't do that. There's some that, you know, it doesn't make sense to just make the same colors and call them something else and make you spend your money. That seems mean. But there is a chart on our website that shows you the different layering colors and how they work together. It's not on our website. It might be on the templates and charts page. I'm not sure. If not, I'll get it over there for you. But it's on our Facebook group in the files section. Okay, so I'm going to just add some butterscotch in here. And I am actually using kind of a light hand. And here's what I was saying before, a good reason why you should emboss first and stencil second. Because, let me just block this off here because I really want to kind of rub right over here too.
What kind of flower is that?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. It sure looks like some sort of peony, but I am not 100% sure. And you know what's good about that? You can color it any color you want because it doesn't have to look a certain way. Or a dahlia. It could be a dahlia too. All right, you see how because let me zoom in. I think that might be a better way to do it. Make sure, Tom, that this doesn't get too blurry. But you see how with a light hand, the little tips of the stamen grabbed more color than the rest of the stamen? That wouldn't happen if you stenciled first, right? It's because those areas are raised. So by using a light hand, it grabbed just what was on top, and the rest just got a very light mist of color. So I'll have to go through all of those trios and figure out yellows and all the other ones. I will do that for you. Okay. Now we're going to do the leaves. So I'm going to do the leaves, I think, in... What color did I do my original leaves? I'd like to do different colors. Okay, I think I'm going to do my leaves in spruces instead of the jelly bean and the fresh asparagus, just so you can see some different greens. So I'm going to use light spruce and medium spruce, which I think are always so pretty with the purples. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that isn't good with flower names. Honestly, if I don't know what it is, it's a peony. I know that's not good horticulture, but if I don't know, then it becomes a peony or a dahlia. Every flower is a peony or a dahlia. I'm just cleaning these stencils that I'm going to use for the leaves because I don't want any of that purple to mess up anything else here. So there's 2 stencils that you need for the leaves because there's a couple different different sections here. There's 2 different sections. And the thing that's cool about this, now I'm going to use just the 2 colors. So I'm going to use all of the spruces for both areas. But the thing that's nice about having separate sections like this is if you feel like you want that greenery to stand out more and you want different colors of green, having the leaves divided up into 2 separate stencils makes it easy to do that. So we've got the bigger leaves here. Let me just line that up. And we're going to do a very similar thing. Now, if you're worried about that at all, you can always take that masking magic again and just block that off. This way we don't have to worry about that. All right, let me find a brush for this. I've got a bright green brush. Oh no, I've got a brush here. I have to get my new brush bucket. When they come back in stock, I'll get one for home. Okay, so I'm going to start with the light spruce. And if you feel like you might have too much ink, just get a little scrap of, oh, I said I would keep that out, and I didn't. I lied. I didn't mean to. You can get a piece of scrap paper. You can get a paper towel and just like tap it off a little bit first. And now I'm going to start up here. And then I'm going to work my way down. And you can go all in one direction, and then you could start up at the top again and go in the other direction if you want. But this is such a beautiful green. Look at that.
Susan wants to know if this the embossing folder and stencil set are available to purchase in the UK.
Only through our website. We ship worldwide, but we do not sell our embossing folders anywhere except on our website because they're so expensive for us to produce that we can't offer a wholesale discount, or we'd have to sell them for $60. And we just felt like $60 was just too much for our customers to spend. So we can keep them in around the $30 range by just selling them direct.
And then Catherine wants to know, are the ink pads and the ink cubes the same except for their size?
Yes, exactly the same except for their size. All right, so I just inked up this brush with light. I'm going to move to medium. It does look a little bit like a magnolia. See, it could be a magnolia. You might be right. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the flowers. I'm going to just add some depth down here at the bottom of each of these leaves, and I'm going to work my way across just to add some depth in there like that, you see? And I'm using a fairly light hand, and the only time, and I heard Mindy Egan say this too in one of her videos, the only time that I really mess up and get blotchy is when I rush. When you're trying to put too much ink down all at once and you're trying to go fast, that's when I get blotchy. If I keep a light hand and I don't worry about getting that ink on there fast, because I can always go back and add more if I want it to be darker. But if I'm trying to make it go fast and I start putting a lot of pressure on it, that's when I get blotchiness. So you can see just a very light hand and how pretty and soft and well blended that ink is going on. Again, I'm just taking my time. And you can like add a little bit of darkness to the bottom like that, which will also look really pretty. It'll kind of create a little bit of light shining in from the top. But you see, I'm always starting off the stencil and then working my way back on. That's how you kind of eliminate some of that blotchiness too. Okay, I think that's going to look really pretty. I might do just a little bit more in here. And can you also see by embossing first, some of the color picks up in the little lines of the leaves, which it wouldn't do that if I stenciled first. Okay, let's pull this off. Oh, they look so nice. All right, and we've got one more to do. So there we go. Get that in its spot.
And someone wanted to know where the inkstand, where you get the inkstands.
Brienne Loveland will help you with that. She will link her inkstand right here in the chat, and you can go over to her website, the Inkstand Shop, and you can pick up your very own inkstand. They're so nice to have.
And Betty is asking, what is the brand of your die cutter?
The brand of my die cutting machine is the Gina K Designs brand, my own brand, and it's called the Intracut. Okay. Oh, and somebody wanted me to show them the dials, and I will do that in just a second. I'm sorry I forgot that. I hope you're still here. I hope you didn't get too frustrated with me and leave. Okay, same thing. I'm using the light spruce. And then I'm going to go in the opposite direction. See, like here you could use the jelly bean green and fresh asparagus to add like a whole different bunch of greens in there if you want. Hey Tom, can you move that cursor across the screen? Okay. All right. Okay, and now I'm going with the medium spruce. And I'm going to add real light-handed again. Just around the areas where it would appear to be coming out from under the leaf on top of it or under the flower. Wherever your leaves are, the darkest part would look like it's coming out from underneath.
Glad I'm not the only cursor on the screen.
Sorry. And a little bit over here. All right. I do love these greens, but I am going to show you my sample from Tuesday night, which shows you the other greens and how beautiful they are too. Okay, so here we go. The final layer. Woo! Look at that. Doesn't that look like I know what I'm doing? Because I really don't. I mean, I know how to ink blend, but there are people that watercolor and it looks like that. I mean, come on. There are people that use colored pencils and it looks like that. I am not those people. I am these people. Little ink blending and just make it look that way. And really, the trick is to build that depth by using those separate layers and adding the darker color toward the center of those layers and have those layers kind of, you know, just kind of get lighter as they go out. Okay, so I think that's looking pretty good. Beautiful. It's really exciting to use these layering stencils with these 3D embossing folders. And you guys know, I mean, you guys out there, I know you have them, some of them anyway, and you know how much fun it is to just see it all come up right in front of your eyes like that. I'm putting my brushes away so I don't have any accidents. Okay, so now I did pre-cut this black panel. So these are the sizes. Here's a good screenshot for you. Here are the two sizes. And there are the sizes that they're cut to. So I'll leave that there for a second for those of you that want to take a quick screenshot of that, and then you'll know exactly what sizes to cut them. Okay, so now we're going to layer these together. I'm going to layer this one onto the black panel. Oh no, I'm out of tape. But I'm not out of tape. That's the one thing. I think I told you guys this a million times before, but there are 3 things that make me nervous to be out of. Just 3. Toilet paper, paper towels, and adhesive dot runner. I feel like everything else I can find a way. Yes, thank you. Pamela is right. I'm going to show it right now. Here is the dial. All right, I don't know if this is going to blur out or not. So let me take the handle off the intercut. See if this helps you. Okay. It should go into focus soon. Is it going into focus, Tom, or is it really blurry?
It's fine.
Okay. All right, so I have the dial set to letterpress, and then I have this to the -1. The minuses are all on the right, righty-tighty, and the pluses are all on the left, lefty-loosey. So we're going righty-tighty, so we're like increasing the pressure, so we're decreasing the space to make it tighter, so we're decreasing it by -1. So I hope that that makes sense. So this is what I used for this embossing folder. Now, that being said, other embossing folders, sometimes you want to go a little looser, sometimes you need to go a little tighter. So I would always start just a hair looser, don't force it. If you can't get it to go through, you know, don't put too much pressure on it, just loosen it a little bit. All right. Now these are hand cut, so they're not as perfect as when we use master layouts, but that's not bad. Now I thought that the perfect cardstock color would be Wild Wisteria. So let me grab that. That'd be pretty on there. I think that just looks so nice together. And let me get my big paper cutter. Okay. So, like I said, I was going to make this a 5x7 card, which is great because it goes for the price of a single stamp, and we have envelopes to match that size. So I'm going to make it 5x7, which means I need to cut my cardstock 10 inches by 7, 10 by 7, and then I need my my scoreboard, and we're going to score this at the 5-inch mark. So we'll score this right at the 5. There we go. Right at the 5. Okay. And remember, if you're new here, just leave a comment, even just say hello, because we're going to give away a gift card at the end of the show, and we choose a winner from somebody in the chat. So that's all you have to do is leave a comment. And of course, the more comments you leave, the more better your chances are to win. But so I guess unlike in grade school when I had to write I talk too much 30 times on a piece of note paper and on the chalkboard.
You had to?
I did.
Whoa!
Yeah, I did because I talked too much.
You talk too much.
Well, I do. I mean, look at me. I'm talking nonstop for an hour.
So they were right?
What's that?
They were right?
They were right.
And the punishment did not take.
It didn't take. It didn't take at all. Okay, so I'm going to stamp a greeting for this, and I pulled out an older stamp set for a greeting. I thought it would be pretty to use the Elegant Thoughts. I like this stamp set because there's also coordinating polyglaze sheets if you want to have, you know, foil on them, but I'm just going to use the stamp and die today, and I feel like I've made my share of get well cards, so why don't I make this a birthday card? I feel like this would be a good birthday card, and I do have a little scrap piece of white here that I cut out from a different frame that I was using, so I'm going to use my Misty. For those of you that want to know what this is our Double Grip Matte 1. Is this 1 or 2? This is 1. Double background grip matte one. It is 2 background stamps on one side and a grip mat on the other side. And you can put it right in your MISTI and leave it in your MISTI. As long as the smooth side is up, it works great as a grip mat, which means you don't need a magnet and your cardstock doesn't move. But then you also have on the flip side 2 background stamps that you can use anytime you want. Okay, so we're going to ink this up with some black Onyx ink. Looking good. And put this back. Trying to be better about putting things away. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it works. And then I'm just using my tidy towel to clean that stamp. Then I'm going to die cut that using the coordinating die set. So let me pull that back. I wrote it down. I need to either flatten that or just get a new one, because I do so much crafting at home in preparation of release parties, and I'm not always good about turning my mat over when I need to, and sometimes my mat starts to warp. The way to get it to unwarp is to put it into the hottest tap water that you have, not boiling water. Don't cook the water first in any way, but just hot, hot, hot tap water. And then soak it for a little bit in that hot tap water, and then you can actually bend it back into shape and then put something heavy on it, and that should take care of it. But sometimes you just reach a point where it's just time for a new one. You know, you might have a million black shards in it. There's your shards again, Tom.
Shards. See, you need shards.
You do. The word shards will never be the same.
I made a shard card.
Yes. Yes.
Several months back.
It was in, if you're looking for the shard card video, it's in the video that's titled 200,000 K celebration, because we had a 200,000 subscriber celebration party, and Tom made a card instead of me. It was very fun. And he did a technique, his own technique, and he called it a shard card. And you have to watch it to understand. To understand why we are the way we are. All right, where are my foam squares? Here they are. So I'm going to put this on here with some foam squares right there, like that, just coming in off of.
Tracy wants to know, should I not use my tidy towel on red rubber stamps? It kind of wants to tear when I used it on my rubber stamps.
The only reason why the tidy towel will tear is if it's not wet enough. So I would say if you're using it on rubber stamps or any stamps, just make sure that it's wet enough. Sometimes people have it too dry and then it can like shred a little bit if it's too dry. But you definitely can use it on your red rubber stamps. No problem with that at all. All right. And we'll put one right up here too. Okay. So we'll pop this on, and then we'll add a couple little embellishments, and then I'll show you the other cards that I made. Okay, we'll put that right here like that. That looks very nice. And then let's just add a few little clear embellishments. We'll do some of these little clear sequins. I have my... So I'm going to add... I'll just put one here. You can put sequins right on the petals too if you want to add more. I'm going to put two there. Put one here. And maybe one right here. I'm just going to kind of cluster them toward the bottom. And I'm just using our crystal clear flat sequins.
might this be a good time for a word of the day?
Yes, let's do a word of the day.
Word of the day, hey, yay, hooray. Sorry. The band left us high and dry once again.
The band is gone.
Labor dispute. They'll be back.
Oh my goodness.
We'll have them
Yep.
next week. Okay, word of the day. You remember we played pickleball?
Yes, I do.
It's fun, right?
It was very fun.
Yeah. We were definitely newbies at it.
Mm-hmm. We played with Rena and Brian.
Yes, they are not newbies at it.
They're not. No.
And it can be quite intense. We know somebody who actually got injured, really hurt his hand. Yeah, I guess he fell on it. Yes, baby. And it can also get quite contentious sometimes if people are very, very serious about it. And so that's the word of the day when it goes too far. And then you might find yourself in something called a pickle brawl.
Yes.
Keep it simple, keep it light. It can be fun. Don't get in a pickle brawl.
Right. Don't tear an ACL. That's a good one. Oh my goodness. All right, well there is the finished card, and you can see what that looks like with that little sparkle and shine. Now this is the look in the lilacs. Now here is a similar card that I used the carnations, and I used jelly bean green and fresh asparagus. So you can see the difference in the colors and the greens. I mean, both greens are so beautiful, but look how different they are. They're nowhere near in the same color family. And then this was the one that I showed on release party night where I used this big coordinating die. And all you do is cut this out and place it in the embossing folder in the right spot, and you run it through. And then I ink blended both of those using sea glass and tranquil teal. And there's no green in that one because I used two of them, and I just kind of angled them that way to make them look a little different. So there are 3 different card projects using that same gorgeous bloom embossing folder. This is new. It just got released on Tuesday night, and it's available now at GinaKDesigns.com. I really feel like these pictures don't do it justice. I mean, it looks gorgeous. You could definitely see the potential in it, but when you get to see them ink blended like this with the stencils, oh my goodness. I feel like all that depth and dimension that you get from those different color inks really do have a huge impact on the design.
It's a good preview.
Yeah, it really is. It's a good preview, but then when you see it in action, it's like, oh, yes, I love it. So, all right, well, this was so much fun, Tom. We need to give away a gift card, but before we do, if you liked today's video, and we certainly hope that you have, if you wouldn't mind giving it a thumbs up, that sure does help our channel. And if you are new here and you haven't subscribed to our channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Hit the subscribe button, I can't talk, and all notifications, and you'll never miss another video. And then if you're not in our Facebook group yet, we'd love to have you over there. The name of the group is Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. Just look for the Facebook group that has 50,000 members, Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. And there's 3 security questions, and you have to agree to the rules. That's just to make sure that the AI robots aren't joining the group. And we would love to have you there. You'll get all kinds of beautiful inspiration featuring all of our new release and products from the past, not just from our wonderful guest designers and our team, but also from the members of the group. Everybody over there is sharing their love of Gina K Designs, and it just makes my heart so happy to go there. It's a nice little getaway. And if a big shout out again to Brianne Loveland. Brianne, thank you so much for helping today and linking everything. But if you missed any of Brianne's links and you're looking for the products that I used in today's video, you can find everything that I used on our website at GinaKDesigns.com. All right, let's give away a $15 gift card. That gift card can be used right away, or you can save it for our next release because they never expire. All right, Tom, you ready?
Okay, by the way,
Yes.
a pickle brawl can also come up at your favorite local Jewish deli over the last kosher dill,
Absolutely.
right? All right, here we go. Drum roll, please. Today's winner is Gloria Davis. Gloria Davis!
Yay, Gloria! Congratulations, Gloria! You are our winner. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we'll get that gift card right out to you. Well, now I want to go to a deli, and now I need a sandwich, and I need a kosher pickle. Nothing like it. It's so good. All right, everybody. Well, we hope you enjoyed today's video. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night for another Stampin' Chat Live, and we hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and mwah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.